very, very special Wednesday session with my good friend and mentor, Scarlet, and Scarlet Ravin. And before I turn it over to her, I just want to give you, for those of you, because some of you are new to this, and so welcome, but I just want to give you a little bit of background on who Scarlet is. So Scarlet Ravin is the founder of White Fox Medicine and the Sacred Dose School, and an international best-selling author known for her teachings on Christ-conscious manifestation and self-mastery. For over 2 decades, Scarlet has guided people to remember their divine creative power and live as conscious architects of their reality. Through her brand, her teachings, and her embodiment of heaven on earth, she shows others how to align their frequency, command their reality, and manifest the life their soul truly desires. So, Scarlet, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much. I love being with this group. Thank you so much, Leah.
Oh my gosh, we love having you. And I just want to say really quickly, because you mentioned this in one of your recent videos on the Sacred Dose School, that your book, Follow the Medicine. So you wrote that a few years ago, and that was how I very first got introduced to Scarlet, was through that book. That book is amazing. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And you wrote that years ago, and yet everything is like what you're talking about now, only amplified, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think I published that in 2018 or 17.
Yeah, it's a great book. I love that book, and I highly recommend it. I give that out for gifts. So I am going to turn it over to you so we can get started.
Well, hi guys. Hi, Leah. I love spending Wednesdays with you guys. So thank you, Leah, for inviting me and creating this platform for all of us to come together. It's very important to have support calls. So I am I equate manifestation with self-mastery, but I know that in this world, people prefer to hear the word manifestation. So we're going to talk about it with that word. And what I've uncovered is I've studied Neville Goddard and Florence Scovel Shen, which to me are two of the best manifesting masters in this world. However, when their techniques weren't working for me every time, I was like, I'm missing something because the way that they talk, it's full of conviction and confidence. And I know that they themselves were experiencing higher abilities than I was. So I spend a lot of time. What am I missing? What's the core piece that I'm missing? And what came out is what I want to talk to you guys about in this. Because none of the techniques, tips, tricks, the best manifestors in the world telling you the technique of how to manifest, none of that will work for anybody unless your internal coding, your self identity, the original light that's inside of you, unless that is resonant with what you're trying to manifest, you're going to be putting these techniques and frequencies over something that doesn't resonate with what you want, which is why it doesn't actually manifest for you. So once I discovered this, I was like, that feels like the missing piece. And I started sculpting my own self identity. I am going to talk to you guys a little bit about how to do that. And I'm going to also teach you some motivational tricks so you don't have to use any effort, because a lot of people also don't want to be motivated or use effort. So the truth was that, and I practiced this and I manifested a free Mercedes Benz with the title. So I know this works and I know that it works quickly if you know exactly how to do it. The other thing, I'm going to start with this example. Once I give you this example, you will have an idea of how to do it for yourself. And then I'm going to go into how you can actually start doing it for yourself. So one thing that was really challenging for me, one thing that I had made part of my self-identity was I'm afraid of riding my horses because I had a severe brain injury from a horse trampling me back in 2018. I have been a crazy horse rider and trader my entire life. I had never once experienced fear with horses. And when I started riding again, I felt fear and I didn't know how to deal with it. I was like, this is so foreign. This doesn't make any sense. I had made that trauma part of my self-identity.
Yeah.
Now I have another group of horses, right? I still have the one that trampled me. I love her. It wasn't not her. How about you can hear me now? Okay, I'm sorry, I had to unmute myself. So I learned this technique that the self-identity had to be sculpted. And I was like, I want to practice this on Nola because I have this 4-year-old fjord Norwegian pony who's super easy to ride. I got on her bareback and I'm sitting in the round pen on her. I close my eyes. I say, I'm consciously choosing a self-identity that has no fear around horses anymore. And then in visualizing, I visualized myself riding her without any fear. I saw it. I was already sitting on her. And then I opened my eyes and I did it. And I literally shifted into the woman who had no fear riding. So I guess that was like since 2018, so 2 + 5, for 7 years, I was dealing with a paralyzing fear whenever I got on top of a horse. I had done cranial sacral sessions. I had done hypnotherapy sessions. I had done sessions to try and heal it. Nothing helped me. But me spending 30 seconds visualizing that that's not a part of my self-identity anymore, literally released that entire pattern. Then I was like, holy shit, what else can I get? My truck had a dent in the side. And I looked at it and I was like, I think God wants me to get a second car because I don't like rentals. They always fill it with toxin perfume sprays that make me sick. And I'm like, I don't want to be a part of a rental car. So I took that as an indication that I needed a new SUV and I didn't know what to think of. I honestly, in my head, I thought maybe an Audi, like, I don't know. I really wasn't drawn to anything specific. So I said, it's your choice, God, your choice. And then in my heart, I visualized myself as someone who had the self-identity that could walk into any dealership and buy any vehicle she wanted. It didn't matter the brand or that's what I set up when I said that intention. The way that it synchronized, I want to have time to talk to you guys about how to do it yourself. So I'm not going to go into the series of the dominoes that fell, but the car went into the shop and I ended up having to pick up the rental. I got in the rental. It stunk like fake perfume and poison. And I had it for 2 days when someone called me and offered me a free Mercedes-Benz with the title. I was supposed to have that rental for 2 weeks, but I actually needed the rental to drive to the Mercedes to pick it up. So it kind of made sense why I had to get the rental anyway. So once all that stuff started happening, I was like, okay, I got to start a manifestation YouTube channel. How have I been watching manifestation YouTube channels for 8, 9 years? And no one's ever mentioned this. People just repeatedly go over the tips and the tricks and the techniques, but no one mentions the core self-identity. So I want you guys to visualize this. This whole world, the 3D realm that we all live in, is built on frequency. So when you are vibrating at your core self-identity, and who made your guys' core self-identity? Who made my core self-identity? Our parents, our schools, and societal programming. That's who built who we think we are and how we're operating and what we're operating from. The core resonance of what we're operating from has to be, you have to become aware of it in order to start having the manifestation techniques work for you. So you become aware of it by what have you created for yourself? What patterns are existing in your realm that are repeating that you don't want? That you've tried everything to change? What is a trigger that you've had forever that still bothers you? What places do you not have full control over your life? So what I did was I based all of this on Christ consciousness because that's the whole, for me, that's been the most solid pathway to come into higher frequencies, to feel more enlightened, to not feel bothered, to feel states of eternal peace. I consciously meditate with the Christ consciousness inside of myself. And I have to include that because it may have worked that quickly and that well for me because I already have that connection. And I don't want to mislead anyone anymore. So that to me was why I was so able to shift my self-identity with consciousness and awareness rather than having to like do a 21-day routine to pound it in. Now, there are certain things that are challenging for me that I do put 21-day transformation containers around, And it does seem to take a little bit longer, but most of my core identities, when I looked at them and thought, I'm not bad at school. School's about indoctrination, and I'm not about being indoctrinated. Like, I went over all the things that I had told myself or agreed with other people about, and I was like, none of that's true. It's just programming. So if I want to live this life, what does that core self-identity have to vibrate at? And I am going to do a soul alchemy manifestation masterclass where I'm going to give you guys charts and things. That's something you have to like pay for and sign up for. But I'm going to start sharing like a chart so you can pick your self-identity and then you can go through all the aspects of who you are. How do I think about myself? Am I constantly in love with myself and do I think I'm awesome? Because if not, you should change your self-identity so that you think you're awesome. Are you always showing up with magical ideas, feeling lively, inspiring others? Because if you don't think you're like that, make that a part of your self-identity. So you can literally adopt whatever traits you have. I looked at traits Jesus had. I started studying like Christ consciousness. What did Jesus have? And then I wrote all those down. I was like, I'm going to just re-sculpt myself. That was the first step. That really helped. But what was most helpful was actually surrendering my whole self-identity to God and allowing that frequency to re-sculpt my self-identity. It was helpful for my awareness expansion to start picking what I wanted. Everything always goes back to surrendering it to God and getting out of the way for me. So after I went through that practice, which I do still recommend, it's very helpful for awareness clarification. Then I gave everything over to God for an even greater upgrade. And I'm still in that process, but my life looks and feels completely different. So the other aspect that people do not talk about, why techniques for manifesting don't work. I want to give you all the stuff that I've uncovered that's propelled me into actually being able to create the life I want without having to wait and struggle. So the other aspect, if you think of, visualize yourself as a car. And when you're going to sculpt your self-identity, you're going to change the color, you're going to change the tires, you're going to change the rims. This is a metaphor. And you're going to change the windshield. You're going to, maybe it's an SUV, maybe it's a huge truck. I don't know, but you are going to, that's what's akin to you re-sculpting your self-identity. That's great. That's the best foundation, but that car is not going to go anywhere without gas. And the gas is confidence. So not only do you have to have a self-identity that's sculpted to your vibrational frequency liking so that when you use the techniques, you get what you want. This can be for health. It can be for money. It can be for animal healing. You know, it can be for anything. It can be your friend's really struggling and you want to visualize your friend. Part of your self-identity doesn't see your friend as struggling anymore. And as we know through Neville Goddard or Florence Scovel Shinn, you're praying for that friend to not have that challenge anymore. You can use it in so many different creative ways. It's endless. None of that's going to matter if you don't have confidence. You can script confidence into your self-identity, but you actually have to study confidence and you have to have an internal expression that flows as an external representation of your frequency. Because if I sat here with you guys and you were like, I want to manifest a new house or I want my bank account to be bigger, and I talk to you and I'm like, do all this stuff with your self-identity and make sure you're confident. But if you have no idea actually how to feel confident, nothing I'm saying right now is even going to help you. You literally have to believe in yourself with so much passion, because the 3D realm, once you do start wanting things and starting to manifest things, the 3D realm may start throwing the exact opposite at you initially to deter you. And all that is lower frequencies that you've been holding on to are just being cleansed out. So you got to experience them as they're being cleansed out. But if you do not have confidence going into that, that's where a lot of people are like, see, it didn't work. I'm going to go like, you know, eat a pint of ice cream now. No, no, sis, you got this. Like, no, come back. This is part of the process. No, it's part of the process, but I'm saying that because that's what happened to me. I was in this like loop of frustration. I'm doing it, I'm reading it, I'm studying it. Why isn't it working? And then I would get frustrated. I'm like, I don't even want to fucking do it anymore. And all that whole story that I just told you was the self-identity inside of myself that had zero self-confidence. So when I was even trying it, I wasn't even really trying it because I never even believed I could do it. I was going through the motions because I wanted a better life, but my core was saying, you don't know what you're doing. You're just trying. You're not even believing. That's how I really felt. So I went to I'm in school again. I went back to school, honestly, to learn how to have epic, grounded, complete self-confidence all the time. I'm in school with Chase Hughes. He started the Neurocognitive Intelligence School. He's the #1 interrogation operative for the military. And he can program people to go and bomb their own countries. So I thought, he's the best. If he can program people to go bomb other countries for America, he can teach me how to program myself to be confident. And he did. He really did. Through that school, I was able to start watching patterns in myself. The whole point of his school is to teach you how to walk into a room, know what everybody's operating with, what wound patterns they're operating with, what falsified, expressions they're operating with, so that you can own and influence the room. That's the core of his school. I am taking it so that I can influence myself. And I think there's a good amount of people in that school that are doing it for that. Because once you start learning your behavioral patterns, that's where I'm uncovering things in my self-identity that I'm like, no more. And without his teachings, I was not able to spot the extreme lack of self-confidence I had. I wasn't able to spot how I was going through motions, but not really believing in myself. So I have been doing a lot of research and a lot of reading, and the left brain is just as important. You knowing about yourself in these more structured, like this type of a school, like what I offer you guys is primarily right-brained. It's very creative, it's very imaginative, it's very mystical. I believe I'm very skilled at right brain development and right brain expression. Part of why I couldn't continue transforming myself is because that left side of my brain that actually could read legitimate patterns and tune into structures so that I could alter my own structures, I hadn't developed that yet. So I'm developing that now in this school. And why I'm telling you this is because awareness, once you shine a light on something, this is a pretend flashlight. Once you shine a light on something, it no longer has power over you. That's how simple healing is. And one of the pitfalls of the self-help industry, I'll be totally honest with you guys, is it can become a hamster wheel. It can become just as harmful as you not doing anything with yourself, because it's going to feed the insecurities. It's going to keep making you think you have to buy something to heal. It's going to keep making you think something's wrong with you. You showed up, you had a bad day, something must be wrong with you. Oh, it's an ancestral program. You have no power over that. You must be fucked. None of that's true. There are gems of wisdom in the self-help industry. I was in it for 20 years. I healed myself through it, but I also got to this place consciously where I was like, oh shit, this is a matrix in and of itself. Because at some point you have to say, no, I'm already healed. And then you have to embody that frequency. It's up to you. And I proved that myself with riding NOLA and my 7 or 8-year-old fear of horses. In 30 seconds was gone. No one else was present but me and my horse. I had probably spent $800 with healers on that specific trauma. So I'm sharing that with you because I think that the frequencies that are available on the planet at this time are different than what we were all experiencing 10, 15, 20 years ago. And our awareness and consciousness has to catch up with the frequencies the earth is emitting, knowing that we don't need anyone outside of ourselves and God to heal anything. So, and then there's one more piece, and then I know questions were coming up, but I wanted to share this with you, and then I'll dive in if you guys have questions. How do you stay endlessly committed to living like this, committed to your new self-identity without using any willpower or effort? It's kind of a lie. You're going to have to use a very small amount of willpower and effort. It's going to be very small, and you're only going to have to use it for a day or two. Okay. So if you're someone, how would I put this? It's basically a dopamine hack. The reason why people are stuck in certain patterns and doing the same things that they don't want to be doing over and over and over again is because it releases dopamine in their system. One thing I was doing when I lived in New Mexico, because I strongly disliked where I was living, I would scroll on YouTube and probably watch like 3 hours of YouTube videos a day. And while some of them were informative, other ones actually made me angry and really ruined my frequency. But it was a numbing out moment for me. And that was something I was attracted to. So with the other thing that I had issues with was thinking that all I had to think about was Scarlet right now in the present moment. Everything else is handled. All I have to think about is what Scarlet wants in the present moment. And what a lot of us have confused, we've confused happiness with pleasure. Happiness is a frequency that is self-sustaining. Pleasure is something you experience for seconds or minutes, and then it goes away, and then you want more. It's a dopamine structured track in your brain. So first step, differentiate for yourself. Am I seeking pleasure or happiness? So you know. And then what I did was I learned this in the school, the neurocognitive intelligence school. Chase had us get a piece of paper out and write down where we were getting our dopamine hits. G is for good dopamine hits, B is for bad dopamine hits. You want at least 70 to 80% of your good dopamine hits to be serving the future you. When you look at people that work out every day, they're not motivated every day. They're in a habit of getting dopamine from that experience. When you see people that read before bed and have a bedtime routine and they're not all the blue light stuff, they are thinking about caring for their future selves. They're not worried about an instant moment of pleasure or numbing out. They're literally programming themselves or have already programmed themselves to get dopamine from sustained happiness by serving their future self. So once you differentiate where your dopamine hits are coming from, then you just design where you want them to come from. So one of the things I did was I wanted a better nighttime routine. I would just kind of watch movies and fall asleep, but I wanted to be intentionally programming myself. And I couldn't create that pattern for myself. I just kept falling asleep watching movies on my laptop. Then I'd wake up and I'd feel like shit about it in the morning. I learned this lesson and I was like, no, I want a substantial programming bedtime routine where every night I am structuring my frequency. Why am I? Of course I should be devoted and be doing that, right? If I want to change my self-identity and have everything that I want and more, this is something that has to be a part of my routine. But how did I make myself actually do it without any effort? I sat there and I thought, do I want to serve future Scarlet's continued happiness? Or would I rather a small moment of pleasure with this video? And the answer for me was so immediate and so easy to make. And I realized after just 2 nights of doing that, now the dopamine comes when I think of doing that because it's attached to Scarlet's future self. And when we're manifesting, part of the techniques, which we're not going to get into too much in this talk, but the techniques are visualizing your future self already having what you want. The techniques of manifesting are embodying you already being who you want. So if there's certain aspects of how you treat yourself that are like repetitive patterns that you can't get over, once you name it, you just shined a light on it. Now you have awareness around it. Now you can make a conscious choice. Then you want to look at your future self. Do you want to be serving future you? Can you structure and connect your dopamine hits to meaning you get more excited about saying no to things in the moment because you know how it's going to affect future you. You don't buy certain things because you're smart with your money, because you want future you not to be anxious about having to pay bills. It's not about saving. Like people talk about the effect, but don't talk about the core root. The core root of patterning is dopamine. So if you look at it rather than how can I train myself not to be an overspender, you don't have to, because the future you that you want to be isn't an overspender. That's what you want to manifest. How excited is it to get dopamine from not buying something? It's very exciting. It honestly is very exciting, at least to me. These are a few of the things I've used it for. Because in manifesting, it's always talking about like, no, you don't have to save money, you just spend it and you get refilled. And the more you spend, the more you get refilled. And it's like, no, that's not actually true. Sometimes you don't get refilled right away, which creates mountains of anxiety of how you're going to pay bills. I was in that structure for like 8 freaking years. It sucked. It sucked. So now when I go online, instead of like looking at stuff to buy, I'm like, no, actually, future Scarlet wants this. So I'm just going to get offline. There's no fight anymore. You don't have to fight with the patterning once you switch the dopamine structure. So those are the things that I was really passionate about sharing with you guys. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Well, I love that because I've been in a lot of different entrepreneur groups and they talk about that. It's like how you do one thing is how you do everything. You can't be 80% committed to something. You have to be 100% committed. So like you're saying, like if you don't want to be someone who's constantly shopping online, then you say to yourself, I am not the type of person that shops online, right? I'm the type of person that thinks before I buy, right? Or I'm the type of person that doesn't eat sugar. I'm the type of person, whatever that is, you just tell yourself. And I love how you were saying that, how it all leads back to confidence, because I'm in the same exact boat that you were. It's like, I'm doing all the things. I'm reading all the books. I'm doing the believing. I'm, visualizing, But the problem is exactly what you're saying. If you don't at your core believe that you deserve it, you can want it all you want, but do I deserve it? Oh, and and it's easy to tell, right? Because you can feel it in your gut when you think, oh, okay, I really want this. And all of a sudden your gut goes,
Totally.
Can you get it? And you feel it in your throat and you're just like, oh, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm dreaming too big, right? That's another part of manifestation. Well, what I want is just too big. It'll never happen. I should bring it down. And but I love the analogy of the car too. You're a car, but you have to have the gas. Otherwise you just sit there and rot.
Yeah. And the other thing is there's nothing too big. You are literally the same as God. You have the same frequency inside of you as God. Call it whatever you want. Call it infinite intelligence. Call it Allah. I don't care. But there is something out there that has all the power in the world, knows everything in the world, and can create any experience in the world for anybody at any time. That's inside of you. That's inside of each and every one of you. So when someone says like, maybe I can't have that, it's like, why are you believing the lies that society programmed into you? When are you going to let them go?
And it is a programming, because if you were raised to believe from birth that you could get whatever you wanted and it was happening, then you wouldn't even doubt. You'd just be like, oh yeah, if I want it, it comes to me because I'm in that frequency.
Yeah.
There's nothing blocking it.
Exactly. And people don't understand how easy it is to program. So what if, like, let's say you guys were my kids and I'm raising you and I'm like, this is a banana. You would go around in the world and when you saw a bottle of kombucha, you'd be like, that's a banana. I want one. And other people would be like, no, we call that kombucha. No, that's a banana. That's how easy it is to program someone. And that's what happened to all of us. And it didn't happen for us. It happened against us. So anything that has a resonance with limitation, it's a program. Anything that has a resonance with fear, it's a program. Anything that has the only resonance that's truth is going to be eternal peace, eternal joy, and love. So if you're thinking about stuff and you're dreaming up stuff, and then all of a sudden your ego starts barking at you and is like, that's too big. You're a program. Get the fuck out of here. I want this. Like, that's how you literally have to start talking to yourself and make it and normalize it. And because it's been going on for so long, since we were like conceived, when the sperm went into the egg, we started getting programmed from our mom, period. So it started that quickly. And whatever environment our mom was in, we started thinking that was what the reality was. And it started like that. It really is a fish swimming in water. The whole spiritual process to me, like if someone's like, I'm seeking enlightenment, then all you have to do is shed every pattern this world gave you and become the true light inside of yourself and then shine it as bright as possible. It's that simple. Someone wants to know, like, how do I become enlightened? Become aware of every pattern that God didn't give you and then release it. And then you'll just be vibrating at pure potential all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. And what I also loved what you're saying, that to piggyback on that, is that, so when I was in these other entrepreneur groups and you're with, these people that are making millions and millions, and they're just like, oh, be your future self, be your future self. Right. And it all sounds really good. Yeah, you can imagine, be your future self, and I'm the type of person that lives in this kind of house, has this kind of thing. But then it all comes back again to that deserve level. So you can sit there and say, yes, this is, I see myself. But it's at the core, you have that, catch in your throat, that, grip in your stomach. You have to, like you're saying, you have to look at that and go, what is the programming that's telling me that isn't right for me, right?
Yeah. Sorry, someone wrote something and
Oh, yeah. I didn't even catch that.
Okay, so Jesus is not a religion. Christianity is a religion. You can follow the teachings of Christ consciousness without being part of Christianity, which is what I am. Christianity was created by man. I'm speaking to things created by God. Jesus is created by God, just like all y'all created by God. Studying Christ consciousness is studying the highest frequency inside of yourself. God is real to me. And a lot of people lump in. If I say the word Jesus in certain settings, people are like, oh my God, she's a Christian. Like, let's go hate on her. And I'm not kidding. It happens online, it happens in person. Whoever responds like that is programmed. You're programmed to hate religion. Do I like religion? I'm neutral about it. If you're neutral about something, you're not programmed. Neutrality is the sign that you don't have a program when you're witnessing something. I used to hate Christianity because of how much hurt it caused me. But that was programming. I released the pain, I released the trauma, and then I got to get the goods out of that man-made religion, because there are goods in there, guys. I threw the baby out with the bathwater for years, and I struggled and suffered because of my lack of wisdom and maturity. Got over the hurt, came back to a sense of neutralization. If some people want to follow Christianity, am I not going to love them because they're Christians? No. I'm going to love every single person on this planet because we're not separate from each other. Just because visually we think we are, because we have different bodies right now, there's a net of energy that's connecting every single one of us all the time. If I look at someone and I say, oh my God, I hate that person, all I'm saying, I hate myself. That's all I'm saying. If you're looking like, oh, I'm on the left and Christians are on the right, so I have to hate them, talk about programming. If you guys want to see what happened, 2022, they did a massive psyop. We won't get into that. Let's not get into that. But there's a lot of programming that goes on between the left, the right, Christians, non-Christians. It's a hot spot for brainwashing to keep you away from higher truths. So if you start studying, and I read Christian books, and when in the Christian book, if they say burning in hell, I just skip over it. I do, because it doesn't matter to me if someone else wants to believe that. What matters to me is that I gain the wisdom to become Christ-like myself. And I don't know any other example of a being that was like that, like Jesus Christ was, except for the life and teachings of the masters of the Far East and Yogananda. I think he was like that. Buddha was like that. But for me, because I'm a Jew and I have Jewish blood, and Jesus came out of Judaism, I feel closer to that as a teacher for me than I do to Buddha. Could Buddha lead you to Christ consciousness? I don't know, but I think so. I haven't taken that path, so I can't say for sure, but my intuition says, yeah, I think so. You go, if that's what you're attracted to, go and try it and report back. I think that every single thing in this world that's a religion or an esoteric teaching, there's a gem of wisdom and something beneficial in all of it for all of us. That's what I think. And that's what I'm excited about. I'm not going to allow myself anymore to let triggers rule how I see this world. I'm past that. I'm over it. I don't want past hurts to be blocking me from my future evolution. So that's how I would respond to that
Yeah, and
question.
I think that that's probably the biggest struggle is that, you know, you're raised, like I was raised Catholic and I did like you. I had turned against the religion because you can feel that it's an indoctrination, right? Or indoctrination. Can't even say the word right now. But then coming back to God, you come back to God when you start studying Jesus and God in the pure form that they were. And that's why I like Neville Goddard, because Neville Goddard breaks down the Bible and says, okay, this is what this really means.
Yeah.
You know, man is making you think that, oh, if you do this, that's this, but no, it's all about your subconscious. It's all
Yeah.
about these subconscious lessons. And that was really powerful. Neville Goddard's books were very powerful for that. So there's a question from Caprice Scarlet. Do you think having a dysregulated nervous system has a part to play in manifesting?
I do. I do. I do. It has a huge part. Part of the workshop that I created to teach this, there's something called neurogenic tremors. And when you see an animal or, you know, even a two-legged bird, if they go through a traumatic instance or they get scared for a second, what do they do once the initial fear has passed? They shake it off.
Right.
They shake it off. Humans are the only mammals that have that response that suppress shaking it off. So yes, if someone's nervous system is dysregulated, there are practices like I do or that I teach called neurogenic tremors, where you actually go and you tell yourself stop blocking it, and you let yourself shake it out. And you might need to do that for 90 days, 5 minutes a day. It's very intense, very, very intense, and it depends on how many times you shut down after you got scared. That's how much you're going to have to shake out. For me, it's a lot, and I'm still doing it. And I enjoy it. It's all a process. But yes, if your nervous system is dysregulated, you will not be able to manifest anything. You have to feel very safe, and you have to feel very confident, and you have to feel very still. And something that I noticed that was different when I was manifesting the Mercedes was, and the only way I can think of how to verbally describe this to you guys is by driving. So when I'm driving and I'm like, I just want to get this over with, and like, when am I gonna get to the store? And I want to get back to the ranch. My posture, I'm a little bit leaning forward and I'm a little hot. You know what I mean? When I'm driving. Now, when I'm super peaceful and just feeling myself and I'm like, this is gonna be a fun day out, I might go over here, I might look at this, I might, like, there's no agenda and I don't feel pressure, I'm like laid back, right? I'm like in my seat like this, like feeling this sensation of feeling laid back. Because I had just manifested my truck, I knew I was getting an SUV. I didn't have there was not one frequency inside of me that said, this isn't going to happen for you. So my posture while I was waiting for the physical SUV to get to me, I didn't know how it was going to get to me. My energetic position was this the whole time. I never once had a moment of, wait, is it really going to come? Which I normally do. Like I normally have like spurt with the truck. I had so many intense spurts of doubt. Like, and it hurts. It's painful. Honestly, at least for me, like feeling those moments of doubt is a horrible human experience. I strongly dislike it. But because I end up getting the truck despite my horrible experiences, and because this was is so close together, and it was a vehicle, so it was in the same subject, that gave rise to a knowing that I had never really felt before. And I knew it was going to happen. And when I was equating the differences between how I was vibrating when I got the truck and how I was vibrating when I got the car, one of them I was like, is it going to happen? Who's going to give me the loan? Where am I going to get the money? And the other one was like, this is fun. I can't wait to see how God like throws this into my life. And I stayed in a state of curiosity and positive expectation, and in a knowing, a confident knowing. And that's how I want to manifest things from now on. I don't want to manifest things with these bursts of doubt that just bring me to my knees and shake everything that I thought I knew in my life. So yes, I'm equating all that explanation to the nervous system question.
Yeah. There's Joy asked, can you write the names of the, I've got that for you, Joy. And then Melissa said, when you say Jesus was like that, she missed what that was.
Jesus, from what I've learned, and I don't think I know everything, but I like to get like the life and teachings of the masters of the Far East. Jesus actually shows up to these researchers and gives them teachings directly, and they just write down what he says. So I've learned a lot about who Jesus was from books like that. And then also, I do find that pretty traditional Christian books, I'm able to skim over all the Christian bullshit and not have it affect me, so I can get the gems out of it. If you're not, maybe that wouldn't be for you. But it's helpful to know the qualities that Jesus had and why he had them and how God did them for them. So a lot of you are probably thinking like, yeah, Scarlett's talking about this, but I can't do that. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is get out of the way so God can do it through you. And so when I say like that, Jesus was like that. He had so much faith. He knew the frequency of God. He had zero doubts. Therefore, he could loaves and fish. Like, y'all telling me you don't want loaves and fish? We all want loaves and fish. You can't deny you don't want to do that. I mean, you don't want to pull out a basket. You need $10,000 for a new car and you want to open your basket and you want to pull out $100 bill. You don't want to be able to do that? I do. So I study what Jesus did because I want to do what he did. I want to pull money out of a basket. I want a piece of bread to just show up in my hand whenever I want it. This is what we were promised. In my opinion, I know this stuff because I've believed it since I was born. I hated organized religion because I knew this stuff when I was born. Like I rejected a lot of things. So maybe I'm someone that didn't have to develop all this knowing, but the most mystical things in this world, for some reason, I know that that's the highest truth. And the rest of the things that don't resonate with that are the bullshit. So it's really easy for me to believe what others might deem extraordinary. I think the ordinary is the programming and the extraordinary is what's real. I've done a lot of work on my mind too. I pulled a lot of patterns out, but.
Well, and it goes back to confidence. It goes, it all leads back to confidence, because I remember hearing about Mother Teresa, and there would be days when she was like, we don't have enough food to feed all these people, yet they would have enough food to feed all the people, because she believed that there is no other choice. We have to feed these people, right? And so when you have that confidence, it's coming. It's going to get here. I don't know how. I don't need to know how, but it's going to get here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I think the reason why I am so attracted to Jesus is because you can watch real movies now, like on your TV, you could watch them today, that are reenactments of how God has stepped in to save people's lives because they knew he would. That has nothing to do with religion. That has nothing to do with Christianity. It has nothing to do with any other religion. It has to do with about knowing yourself and knowing who you are and why you're here. I've watched so many miracle movies, like Breakthrough is one of them. I think the other one, something is like the 13 somethings. That's how Mormonism is trippy. Like someone went in the desert and ate a bunch of shrooms and created Mormonism. Like these things are to be laughed at. I think that people have become so the opposite of being lighthearted. They take everything personal. They think everyone's attacking them. They want to attack everyone. Oh my God, you're different. I'm going to attack you. You're supposed to be laughing at the differences. Like, this is a video game. Like, Earth is a video game. We're here to have fun and then know who we are and come into our mastery. Attacking others isn't part of the script. That's like if you feel divided or separate from a whole group of people, there's a devastating program inside of your heart that's stopping you from loving yourself fully. That's all that says. You might think it's about a group of people that have a different label than you. All it says is there's a part of yourself you cannot love fully or accept fully. Anything that you think is going on outside of yourself is just that's the drama or the play that's showing you what your insides look like. Because true wisdom is being able to observe things and get a kick out of them without feeling emotionally attacked, even if you don't agree with it. That to me is what leads to states of eternal peace. And when we're talking about manifesting, this stuff matters. Your frequency is what's going to bring in. So a short that I just posted on the new channel today is super funny. Like it's a meme. And the first one is like how I used to argue, which is like pointing and yelling. And I used to get pissed off and yell at people and try and convince them to see things my way. How do I argue now? I do this and I walk away. It's not my job to change someone's mind. Like, how egotistical is that? Why aren't we just letting other people have their own experience and celebrating the fact that we can create whatever we want? Seems pretty simple to me.
Well, we create the discord too. You know, we can create the peace, but we can create the discord just as easily by believing, right? That having confidence, oh, that person doesn't like me, or those people are against me. And then you're in that kind of thing. So it's like we're already manifesting what's in our life. It's just if you're not if it's not really good and you don't feel good, then look at what you're manifesting. I just wanted to point out, Adam said Joel Goldsmith has some beautiful teachings on Christ.
Oh, cool. I've never heard of him, so I'm gonna
I've
check him
never
out.
heard of him either. So thank
And
you.
let me write that down. I'm gonna take a picture before I, in one ear, write out the other.
So I know we're kind of coming to time, but I want Scarlet, and not that this is a sales pitch, you guys, but Scarlet does have a really beautiful offering that I know I'm going to be taking advantage of, because thankfully, a lot of times she does things during the week and I can't participate, but thankfully she's doing her manifestation course on a Saturday. And I would like for you, Scarlet, just to share a little bit about what we can expect by signing up for this. And I'm so
So basically, you buy it on the White Fox website. You do have to pay for shipping. Wondering why am I paying for shipping? Because I'm going to mail you the book of what I'm going to teach you, along with some other items like a bag of sage, so that we're all touching the same thing. So it feels like we're actually in person with each other. And I also don't want anyone showing up thinking they have to take notes and they can't just be present. You're going to have every bit of information that created this whole course. And there's going to be more in the book than it's going to be in the course, because people's attention spans aren't that long. But basically, I am creating it's going to be a portal where you're going to come and you're going to learn how to sculpt your self identity, like step by step. And then I'm going to go into the neurogenic tremors so that we can clear out. I can teach you how to clear out tremors. So an example of this would be, I really want to manifest something, and then this fear keeps coming up. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And you get on the ground and you neurogenic tremor yourself until you feel a state of peace. And you come back and you do your manifesting. I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide of what to do to be able to have the manifestation techniques work for you. I'm going to show you what's underneath the surface. We are going to go into the techniques as well, because it's important for you to know what those are. However, this other stuff is much more important. So that's what it's going to be like. It could be 3 to 4 hours long. It's going to be like December 6th on Saturday. And if we go over, we're also going to do a group activation. We're going to do meditation. We're going to do group healing. But if we end up going over and people are like, I'm fried, it's too much info, then shut off. And you're going to get the playback anyway, but you'll have the book. And all you have to do is study the book and practice the teachings for 21 days after the workshop. So 21 days is how long it can take. Does not have to be 21 days. It could be 1 second. It could be 2 minutes. Longest it could take could be 21 days. So then I'm going to set you up on a structure. Do this for the next 21 days after the workshop, and you're going to have a huge shift. You guys will feel it. As soon as you get off this call, you're going to feel differently about yourself and how you see the world. Your lens will have changed from the information I shared. There's no way it could not. Awareness does that and shifts you. So this will be a portal where I pump awareness to shift people through the portal.
And Gilly is in the UK, and she was asking, would that be a problem to send the book to the UK? I know we have other people from the UK on the call as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, I send stuff to the UK. That's medicine. So no, it won't stop you from getting the book or the sage or anything like that. But if you are in the UK and you are planning on taking it, I would say sign up sooner rather than later so that I can get the book out right away so that you have it by the time of the workshop, because we are kind of getting close and now it's only 2 or 3 weeks away. So that's about the ship time to the UK.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you get it after also.
And also don't forget the holidays, everyone, because the US mail probably will be a little bit slower too, just getting out. So I would recommend, and I'll put a link in the recap as well to Scarlet's offering. I'm super excited, Scarlet. I'm so glad you're doing this.
I am too. Sacred Dose schoolers get 20% off the workshop.
Oh, that's really great too. And why don't you talk a little bit about the Sacred Dose School? Because you just did a really fantastic, it wasn't, I think maybe it was yesterday's video. You did a really great video. You do lots of really good videos, and you share that with your school, and it's only $22 a month, right? I think that's what I pay.
Yeah.
And you get discounts on your products. And so why don't you talk a little bit about your school?
Yeah, you get 11% off all the stuff I make. So online items or offline items. And any question you have, if you're a part of the school and you're like going through the courses in the school and you're like, this doesn't make sense to me, I need more help, I will make you a custom video and I'll put it on the Starwalker Ranch YouTube channel. So it's, even though it's you guiding yourself through the program, I'm there with you, and the community is really starting to build. People are not shy anymore, and they're starting to post and they're starting to comment. The first few months was very quiet, but we have a very active, connected, and high vibe community that's a part of the school. People share what they're manifesting. If you're a part of the school, we're going to meet up about every 3 weeks and just do a guided meditation and a teaching so that people don't lose. I think when you buy a program online and the teacher's like, now I got your money, now you go through the program, that doesn't work for a lot of people. So I'm there in the program with you. As you ask questions, I create different videos so that you never feel like you're hitting walls. And it's beautiful. I mean, it really is a beautiful community. I'm in love with, I didn't think it would feel this way, but it feels like a group of blessed divinity seekers that are here to just serve everyone else, help people stay uplifted.
Oh, it's definitely a really beautiful group of people. And I love too how you're doing that, because we all know this. If you have one question, believe me, somebody else does too. So it's nice when somebody asks a question and then you do the video and then you share. I think I watched one of yours on microdosing, what that even means to microdose, and how do you microdose, and what should you be looking for when you microdose to know.
And like, I never would have thought of making a video about that because it's just so part of me. But like,
Right.
I need people to remind me of what others need to know.
Yes. Yeah, because you're kind of, you're up here, and when you're that far from the beginning, it's hard to remember, oh yeah, they might like that. So Jen said, I love this. I'm glad you're on again. I wanted to find you again. I saw you a few months back and enjoyed it. Want to heal myself. I love that, Jen.
Yeah, me too.
I know we love having Scarlet here because it really is, it's like you said, Scarlet, once you're expanded, you can't go back. And we're all expanded by being here and hearing this. And I just love just the guidance on meditation, coming back to that, and just like, really tuning in and seeing what are the stories, what is the programming that's convincing you that what you want isn't going to come to you.
Yeah.
And also not being, like you were saying, like before, you were like, oh my gosh, why isn't it coming? And I know I'm doing that right now with something that I want to manifest. And I'm just like, why, God, why? And I've been getting messages through tarot and other ways, but it's just patient, right? Be patient and work on yourself, because again, it's that programming I have to work on. I'm not ready yet to get what I want. And I think that we have to have clarity about that too. And when you do get that clarity, when you start to be silent, and I think that's the biggest struggle, is being silent. And I loved how you said that, like you got silent when you start manifesting, right? You changed what your energy was doing.
Yeah.
And now it comes really fast. So Mary Ellen said, truly uplifting, how to choose where to start. So Scarlet, what is I need to get that link to the Sacred Dose School. I'll put it up right now.
I thought her name was the Mary Ellen Show.
Oh, how funny.
So I just started a new YouTube channel called The Manifestation Ladder, and I am doing a video upload every other day. You're going to get content like this that I just shared with you guys every other day. I'm going to break it up, break it down. So that might be a good place to start.
There's the Sacred Dose School. And so the YouTube channel, I think.
Oh yeah, that one's so it's YouTube at Manifestation Ladder, one word.
Okay. Because I think I have it right here. I just want to get the right channel, and I don't want to put this.
I don't know how you can upload links while you're on the Zoom. How do you do that?
You just put it in chat.
I know, but how do you get to the other part of the computer when the Zoom face is on?
Oh, I just have another screen up.
I don't know how to do it. I can't help you. I'm sorry.
I'm going to do it right now. I have it.
I would be helping, but the White Fox Medicine, whitefoxmedicinals.com, that's where the course is. So, and you guys will see it. You don't really need the link because I just uploaded it. So I think it's on the home page where it's like new items or something like that. So that one is going to be fairly easy.
And yeah, so Karen said, this has been awesome, Scarlet. Thank you. And Rebecca said, love learning from Scarlet and can recommend the new channel. Great videos. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. That's so sweet of you. Yeah, I agree. I mean, so I did put the link to the YouTube channel there. And again, all of these links I'll put in the recap email that goes out on Friday. But I really hope you'll consider just either, starting for free by watching her YouTube channel, or making a it's such a low entry fee and you get so much knowledge. When she talks about the courses, you're getting those courses for $22 a month. I don't know of any other place where you can get all the information and a course that Scarlet is teaching all for $22 a month. It's really incredible. And it's a beautiful community. It's a lot like this community, just lovely, lovely people who are all very supportive of each other on their journeys. And then if you want to do the manifestation course, I highly encourage you to do that. And if you're not in the US, please sign up. Whether you're in the US, because even the US mail could take a week or 10 days sometimes. And then maybe it said that thank you, dear hearts. Wonderful to be here, tuned and devoted to being divinely aligned by design, listening to God's tuning forks. And so it is. Yay. And then Tammy said, I just joined school. It is amazing. And Scarlet is so responsive and helpful. It is awesome. Highly recommend. Thank you for that, Tammy, because I agree. Scarlet is very responsive. And, and another thing I always want you guys to remember, you always want to pick a teacher that is continually growing and learning. And that is Scarlet. Like, she's like, oh, I don't know how to do this. I'm going to learn how. I'm in school now. And what was the name of the school again, Scarlet? It was.
Yeah. I mean, this school, you guys, to me, it's a little expensive, but it's not at the same time. It's like $250, but it's been so worth it. It's, I think it's nciuniversity.com. If you just Google Chase Hughes NCI, it's going to come up. And the course is normally actually like, I think $1,700 or $1,800. But because of what's happening to him, I won't get into it. He's discounting it because he doesn't know how long he's going to be here. So his price structuring shifted, which is why I signed up. I was like, holy, I wanted to do it for a while, but I'm not for $1,700. I don't want to do it for that. Yeah. So the teachings, and for you guys, for the manifestation course, this is not a one-off. Don't feel pressure. I'm going to be doing the Soul Alchemy Master Manifestation course twice a year for the next couple years. So I don't want someone to feel like, oh, I'm going to miss something. You're not going to miss anything ever. And the manifestation ladder is the wisdom that's coming through that YouTube channel. If you devote yourself to that, it would be the same as taking the course. It's just going to take you a lot longer because the course is going to be condensed and it's going to be with me, but the same teachings are going out for free on the manifestation ladder. So whether you want it condensed intensive with me or you want to do it, just letting you guys know.
I love that so much. That's so generous. And thank you. And I'm so glad you said that because we all have FOMO, right? It's like, oh, right now.
Yeah, and I don't want people leaving this with FOMO. That's not the vibe we're putting out here, guys. Everything will always be available to you.
And really do check out that YouTube channel because there's some really incredible videos. And you know, Scarlett, I just have to say, I've known you for a very, very, very long time. And I can tell how you are just you're in your groove because the way you speak on that channel and everything is just like it's like you're channeling the higher version of yourself. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, and I finally got, honestly, that's from Chase Hughes. That's from the school I'm in because I was doing things with you guys that I wanted to do. I had no idea what y'all wanted and I didn't know how to get there. And that's the stuff I was putting out. It was like self-mastery. People aren't attracted to self-mastery. 1% of this world is attracted to self-mastery. 100% of this world is attracted to manifestation. Even though it's the exact same thing, I can present things in a way where you guys can connect with me better on it. And I needed that info because if I can't connect with you guys, I don't want to be out with a microphone on an island, you know?
right, right. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Well, Scarlett, and I know that I don't know if anyone has any questions before we have to tune off. And if you do, you can just unmute or you could put it in chat. Scarlett, I really want to thank you so much for coming back on. I know you're so busy and it's always so uplifting to have you. I know this community just loves you. And so thank you. And Jen said thank you. Yes.
I love you, Reiki people. You're my people. I love you.
All right, everyone. It looks like we don't have any more questions. So Scarlett, thank you again and again. Oh yeah, of course, Gilly. I'm so excited to do this. Thank you so much, Scarlett, because really that was like, I was like, why am I not manifesting what I want? I know I'm a decent manifester. And yet, you know, it's that confidence piece. It's that belief, right? And letting go of those programs. And I'm so excited for the manifestation course because I know I already feel it. It's like you said, everything's shifting, right? And it's going to shift exponentially. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for coming and joining us.
Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.